Imagine a weapon so devastating, so terrifying, that entire fleets were consumed by unstoppable fire, setting oceans ablaze. A weapon whose secret formula was guarded so fiercely, anyone caught revealing it faced death. This wasn't a fantasy, it was Greek fire, the Byzantine Empire's most feared and mysterious weapon, lost to history for centuries. But what exactly was Greek fire? How could it ignite on water, defying the very laws of nature? Why, despite centuries of research, do historians still debate its precise composition? To understand the significance of Greek fire, picture the world during the 7th century. The Byzantine Empire, the last remnant of the mighty Roman legacy, stood alone, vulnerable, and surrounded by relentless enemies. Constantinople, the empire's capital, was a city under siege, threatened repeatedly by powerful adversaries like the Arab caliphates. Survival depended on innovation, cunning, and secrecy. This was the backdrop against which Greek fire emerged, becoming the Byzantine Empire's ultimate protector and symbol of power. Yet despite its vital role, details about Greek fire were intentionally obscured, making it one of history's greatest enigmas. It wasn't just a weapon, it was psychological warfare, terrifying opponents who witnessed it engulfing ships, defying attempts to extinguish it. Imagine the dread that gripped enemy sailors, seeing flames dance ominously across waves, unstoppable, unquenchable. This mysterious liquid fire became legendary, altering battles and shifting the tides of history in favor of an empire on the brink of collapse. Greek fire wasn't simply effective, it was revolutionary. Byzantine emperors guarded its formula with obsessive secrecy. Those who handled the substance took solemn oaths to protect its secret, fully aware that losing control of this weapon could mean the empire's destruction. And in a way, that's exactly what happened. When the formula vanished, so too did the empire's most formidable advantage, setting in motion events that would change the course of medieval history forever. Today, scholars, historians, and chemists still puzzle over this lost invention. Was Greek fire a form of ancient napalm, or perhaps a more complex chemical cocktail? Could modern science finally uncover the formula that defied medieval understanding? And what would it mean if we did rediscover the exact recipe? Could it rewrite history, transforming our understanding of ancient science and warfare? The answers remain tantalizingly out of reach. In this video, you'll journey through battles, intrigue, and mystery to uncover the truth behind Greek fire, the Byzantine Empire's most fiercely guarded secret. Chapter 1. Origins and Early Use. To unravel the mystery of Greek fire, we must travel back to a turbulent period in Byzantine history, the 7th century, when the empire faced existential threats from every direction. It was during these desperate times, specifically around the year 672 AD, that an ingenious Syrian engineer named Callinicos arrived in Constantinople, bringing with him a groundbreaking invention, a weaponized liquid flame capable of burning even on water. Historical records suggest Callinicos had fled his homeland, escaping Arab conquests that ravaged the Middle East, seeking refuge in the Byzantine capital. Recognizing the empire's dire situation, he revealed his revolutionary invention, a highly combustible mixture that could be pumped through bronze tubes and set aflame. The Byzantines quickly recognized its potential, refining and weaponizing it with extraordinary efficiency, leading to the creation of what history would forever know as Greek fire. Greek fire was first unleashed during the intense Arab siege of Constantinople between 674 and 678 AD. Imagine the scene: thousands of Arab vessels surrounding the city, their commanders confident of imminent victory. Yet, as these ships approached the harbor, they were met with an unimaginable horror. Byzantine vessels equipped with mysterious siphons unleashed torrents of blazing liquid, engulfing enemy ships in flames that refused to be extinguished, spreading chaos and panic across the Arab fleet. This astonishing display of fiery devastation was unlike anything seen before. an unprecedented nightmare that transformed the tide of battle instantly. The psychological impact of Greek fire was perhaps even greater than its physical devastation. Enemy sailors who survived these fiery encounters described flames that clung fiercely to everything they touched, impossible to extinguish with water. Such horror stories rapidly spread, filling enemy ranks with dread and demoralization. The Arabs, once confident conquerors, now hesitated to even approach the Byzantine shores, terrified of being consumed by this hellish fire. Another remarkable demonstration of Greek fire occurred during the Second Arab Siege of Constantinople in 717–718 AD. Once again, the weapon proved pivotal. In one account, Arab soldiers desperately attempted to shield themselves behind water-soaked hides, believing this would protect them from the flames. Yet Greek fire defied expectations again, setting ablaze their protective covers, intensifying the panic and disbelief of those who witnessed it. The Arab fleet, once thought invincible, was forced into retreat, marking a turning point that preserved Constantinople's freedom. Its immediate military effectiveness was profound. The Byzantine Empire, previously teetering on collapse, suddenly found itself with a formidable strategic advantage. Enemy navies, previously overwhelming in their numbers, were decimated within hours. The very presence of Greek fire turned even potential enemies into wary observers, fearful of challenging the empire's newfound power. But the Byzantines understood that their weapons' effectiveness hinged on secrecy. Strict protocols ensured that only a select few knew how the substance was prepared, stored, and utilized in battle. Even Byzantine soldiers who operated the deadly siphons were largely ignorant of the weapon's true formula, sworn instead to absolute secrecy under threat of severe punishment. As a result, Greek fire not only saved the Byzantine Empire from imminent conquest, but also solidified its image as a mystical, unstoppable force, dramatically reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the medieval Mediterranean. This weapon, born from desperation and ingenuity, became an iconic symbol of Byzantine resilience, securing Constantinople's survival for centuries. Yet, despite extensive use, the precise chemical composition of Greek fire remains shrouded in mystery, intriguing historians to this day. How exactly did the Byzantines create such a revolutionary weapon? What made this fiery concoction unlike any other known incendiary substance? To uncover more, we must delve deeper into the theories behind its enigmatic composition, something historians continue to passionately debate. Chapter 2. The Mystery of Composition. What exactly was in Greek fire that made it so formidable? And why, even after centuries, is its composition still shrouded in secrecy? Historians and scientists have tirelessly debated the precise ingredients of Greek fire, piecing together clues from scattered historical texts, ancient manuscripts, and modern chemistry experiments. Three ingredients frequently emerge in theories: naphtha, sulfur, and quicklime. Naphtha, a highly flammable petroleum-based substance, is often cited as the primary component. Known to ancient civilizations in the Middle East, naphtha's ability to ignite rapidly and fiercely could explain Greek fire's intense, persistent flames. Historical texts explicitly mention liquid fire, originating from crude oils harvested around regions near the Caspian Sea, suggesting naphtha's critical role. Sulfur, another likely ingredient, would have increased the weapon's combustibility and intensified its toxicity. When ignited, sulfur produces choking fumes, adding an additional layer of terror to those caught in its path. The combination of sulfur and naphtha would have created a potent incendiary, enhancing both the fire's persistence and its psychological impact on enemy soldiers. Quicklime, a calcium oxide compound, may also have played a crucial role. When quicklime comes into contact with water, it generates intense heat, capable of igniting surrounding materials. This chemical reaction aligns perfectly with eyewitness descriptions of Greek fire's behavior. Flames erupting even more fiercely when enemies desperately attempted to extinguish them with water. turning their primary defense into a catalyst for disaster. Yet despite these plausible theories, no historian can say with certainty exactly how these ingredients, or perhaps others, were combined. This uncertainty arises largely due to intentionally vague or contradictory historical documents. Byzantine chronicles, Arabic writings, and European medieval texts each describe Greek fire with noticeable inconsistencies. Some accounts emphasize its explosive power, others its persistent burning capabilities, while some even describe mysterious components such as saltpeter or resin mixtures. The vagueness was not accidental. Byzantine emperors deliberately ensured that no single person held complete knowledge of the formula, creating layers of secrecy to protect their technological advantage. Ingredients were likely stored separately, each component prepared by different specialists who only knew part of the formula. This compartmentalization ensured that even if captured or bribed, no single individual could betray the full secret of Greek fire. Byzantine military manuals reflect this intense secrecy, explicitly forbidding soldiers and technicians from discussing the weapon publicly. Anyone suspected of revealing details faced severe punishment, including execution. Such measures were essential because losing the secret would eliminate the empire's most significant military edge, potentially leading to ruin. The empire also capitalized on secrecy to amplify the psychological warfare dimension of Greek fire. The less known about the weapon, the more mythical and terrifying it became in enemy imaginations. Enemy soldiers filled gaps in their knowledge with fearful speculation, amplifying the weapon's psychological impact and further deterring potential attackers. The strict secrecy, however, ultimately became a double-edged sword. Over generations, knowledge of the weapon's precise composition slowly faded, eventually vanishing altogether, perhaps lost amid the chaos of warfare, political upheaval, or simply through neglect. By the late Byzantine period, even those within the empire no longer knew exactly how to recreate this legendary weapon. Today, scientists continue striving to unlock the mystery of Greek fire. Laboratories worldwide experiment with various combinations of naphtha, sulfur, quicklime, and other ancient substances, attempting to recreate a phenomenon that terrified medieval armies and altered history forever. But until definitive evidence emerges, Greek fire's exact formula remains one of history's most compelling unsolved mysteries, tantalizing researchers and history enthusiasts alike. Chapter 3. Greek fire in action. Few moments in history showcase Greek fire's devastating potential more vividly than the two legendary sieges of Constantinople. These clashes didn't merely test the survival of a city, they determined the fate of an empire and demonstrated the extraordinary impact of this mysterious weapon. The first Arab siege of Constantinople, stretching from 674 to 678 AD, began with overwhelming Arab confidence. A massive fleet of warships, seemingly invincible, converged on the capital, expecting a swift victory. For months, Arab forces blockaded the city, choking off supplies, determined to starve Constantinople into submission. The situation for the Byzantine defenders appeared dire, with morale sinking lower every day. But the Byzantines had one final trick, a closely guarded secret known only to a select few. In the darkest moments of the siege, Byzantine ships quietly moved into position, their crews prepared to unleash a weapon never before witnessed. As Arab ships closed in, anticipating surrender, they were instead met with streams of blazing liquid launched from concealed bronze tubes. Fire leapt instantly from ship to ship, igniting sails, ropes, and hulls. The attackers frantically attempted to extinguish the flames, pouring water onto their vessels, only to watch in horror as the fires intensified, engulfing the entire fleet in an unstoppable inferno. Eyewitness accounts describe harrowing scenes of chaos, soldiers screaming, sailors desperately diving into the sea only to find the waters ablaze around them. The air filled with choking smoke and cries of disbelief. Within hours, the vast Arab fleet was utterly shattered, survivors fleeing in terror. This extraordinary turning point saved Constantinople and shattered Arab ambitions, marking a clear line in history between defeat and survival for the empire. Nearly 4 decades later, in 718 AD, Constantinople once again found itself under siege. This time, the Arabs amassed an even more formidable force, intent on finally breaching the city's walls. Armies numbering in the tens of thousands prepared to storm the legendary walls of Constantinople, confident that this time victory would be theirs. Yet history was poised to repeat itself. At the height of the battle, Byzantine defenders once again unleashed Greek fire from strategically placed positions along the city walls and from ships maneuvering along the coast. Flames erupted with unprecedented intensity, illuminating the night sky like daylight. The Arab soldiers, experienced warriors hardened by numerous battles, were nonetheless utterly unprepared for such devastation. Their wooden siege engines, protective coverings, and entire ships rapidly ignited, transforming the battlefield into a sea of flame. One chronicler vividly described the sight. It was as if hell itself had opened up, spewing forth fire onto the enemy fleet. Even hardened warriors trembled, overwhelmed by terror and awe at the supernatural flames. The attackers' morale collapsed, their commanders helplessly watching their mighty force crumble before their eyes. The psychological devastation was total. The Arab forces withdrew, devastated and humiliated, never again posing a comparable threat to Constantinople. This decisive victory altered the historical trajectory of Europe, preserving the Byzantine Empire and allowing it to flourish for centuries longer, profoundly shaping the medieval world. Greek fire's pivotal role in these sieges cemented its legend. No other weapon before or since had combined such destructive power with profound psychological impact. Its use transformed seemingly certain defeat into astonishing victory, securing the Byzantine Empire's survival and reshaping European history. But this formidable power had a hidden vulnerability: its dependency on secrecy. As the Byzantines would later discover, maintaining this secret would prove more difficult than deploying the weapon itself. And as the knowledge slipped away, the empire would eventually pay the ultimate price. Chapter 4: Decline and Loss of the Secret. Despite its legendary status and devastating power, the secret of Greek fire eventually vanished, leaving historians puzzled. How could such a critical and revolutionary weapon simply disappear? Greek fire's disappearance didn't happen overnight. Rather, it was a gradual process tied directly to the decline of Byzantine power itself. The strict secrecy that once preserved the weapon's advantage ultimately became its undoing. Because the Byzantines meticulously compartmentalized knowledge of the formula, with specialists knowing only fragments of the whole, the weapon was vulnerable to disruption. Wars, political upheavals, and the deaths of key experts gradually eroded the knowledge base, and with each generation, critical information was lost. Historical sources suggest that by the time of the Fourth Crusade in 1204, the Byzantines had already largely lost the ability to reliably produce Greek fire. The sack of Constantinople by Crusader forces devastated the city's infrastructure, scattering or destroying crucial documentation and manufacturing equipment. Chaos followed the invasion, and the skilled craftsmen who held fragments of the weapon's secret were either killed, captured, or forced to flee. The meticulous system that once protected the weapon's formula collapsed entirely. Another theory suggests that the supply chain for key ingredients, such as naphtha, became disrupted as Byzantine territories shrank. Regions rich in natural resources essential to the formula fell under enemy control, cutting off access to critical materials. Without these specific substances, even if the Byzantines had retained theoretical knowledge of the weapon, they lacked the means to recreate it practically. The loss of Greek fire was catastrophic for the Byzantine Empire. This secret weapon, once the empire's greatest defense, had deterred enemies for centuries. Without it, Constantinople became increasingly vulnerable to invasions, its enemies emboldened by the empire's apparent weakness. Gradually, the loss of this critical military advantage accelerated Byzantine decline, leaving the empire unable to repel increasingly aggressive invasions. Speculation surrounding the loss of Greek fire continues to captivate historians. Was its disappearance simply the unfortunate result of historical chaos? Or was there deliberate sabotage by internal factions or enemy spies? Could the Byzantines themselves have chosen to abandon the weapon, believing its dangers outweighed its benefits? Regardless of the reason, the impact of Greek fire's disappearance was profound. The Byzantine military, once feared and respected, slowly weakened, contributing directly to the empire's eventual collapse. With the weapons formula lost forever, the Byzantine Empire faced its enemies without its greatest shield, altering history forever. Greek fire's legacy is both legendary and enigmatic, standing as one of history's greatest technological mysteries. More than just a military weapon, it symbolized Byzantine resilience, innovation, and power, defining the course of history by preserving an empire against overwhelming odds. The historical significance of Greek fire cannot be overstated. Without it, Constantinople might have fallen centuries earlier, drastically altering the development of European culture, religion, and politics. By repelling Arab sieges, Greek fire not only preserved Byzantine civilization, but also provided a buffer that allowed medieval Europe to flourish independently. Its impact echoes even today, influencing warfare, chemistry, and our understanding of ancient technological advancements. But the disappearance of Greek fire's formula has left historians and scientists alike fascinated and frustrated. Countless experiments have attempted to replicate this elusive substance, using historical texts and modern chemical knowledge. Laboratories around the globe have tested mixtures of naphtha, sulfur, quicklime, resins, and various oils, trying to unlock the secret recipe. Occasionally, these attempts produce spectacular results, fires igniting fiercely, refusing to be quenched by water, but none have definitively matched the historical accounts in consistency or power. Some researchers believe modern science might one day finally rediscover Greek fire's precise formulation. If successful, it could dramatically alter our understanding of medieval chemistry and ancient technology, illuminating a crucial part of human ingenuity previously thought lost. Yet the real secret behind Greek fire might be not merely its chemical ingredients, but the Byzantine mastery of secrecy itself, their ability to harness fear, mystery, and psychological warfare, creating a weapon as powerful mentally as it was physically. Today, Greek fire remains symbolic of humanity's ongoing quest to understand our past. Its story is a testament to the heights of innovation civilizations can achieve under pressure, and a cautionary tale about the fragility of knowledge. The Byzantines' greatest triumph, ironically, became their greatest loss, reminding us of the delicate balance between secrecy, security, and survival. If you're intrigued by historical mysteries and fascinated by legendary inventions like Greek fire, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us uncover more captivating stories from the past. Stay curious and join us next time as we explore even more fascinating topics that continue to shape our understanding of history.